his friend is weird. Like, I literally think his friend is weird, because why would you say that? Like, now if he had just met these girls and he's trying to be friends with 16-year-olds, yeah, that's freaking weird, guys. Like, I wouldn't even know. Like, he's twice their age. But yeah, that's weird. But in the context of it, that being his sister-in-law, no, I don't even know what's going on in his friend's mental. Like, I think he needs to unfriend that guy, because that's strange. Okay, moving on to the next. Is my girlfriend inappropriate with her male best friend? Oh my gosh, this might be some tea. Okay, he said, I am not the jealous type guy, but my girlfriend has a male best friend that she lost close contact with and started getting close with about a year ago. Over the holiday, sorry guys, I had to burp. She went to visit him and stay at his place a couple of nights. Although her brother lives in the same city and she could have stayed. Yeah, okay, before I even continue, that is kind of weird that you stayed with him and not your brother, but okay. This might be tea. She was waiting for a music festival in the city before she flew out home. I said nothing as to not be controlling. Okay, respect. Recently, it was mentioned that she and this male friend sent each other hearts via texts. Oh no. I don't really know how to feel about this. Guys, this is weird already, because why are they sending each other hearts? Why are you staying with the best friend or whatever? I don't know. It is kind of getting weird, but let's read the comment. Somebody said, I dated a girl who was still obsessed with her previous boyfriend, who then became her quote-unquote best friend, and she thought it was completely normal. I'd come home from work to them having tickle fights on the couch. Girl, what? They'd say, I love you to each other regularly on the phone, saying goodbye, etc. The ex-boyfriend loved it, and I'm sure she knew exactly what was happening and getting off on the attention, but she thought I was nuts for having a problem with it. Before I finally broke it off with her, I brought up how weird it is that they cuddle, tickle each other, say I love you. She just said, but I do love him, and that will never change. It was such a weird relationship. I recently heard from a friend that she no longer talks to him because his now wife had a serious problem with her. No surprise there. I would never understand why people like that don't just marry each other and leave the rest of us out of it. Because and choosing to stay at his place. Like, she's clearly making a path for this person. I personally agree that it is inappropriate, because I know, like, as women, like, a lot of us have like a hard time letting go of something that we thought could have been, or like a person that we had feelings for in the past, regardless if it blossomed into something or it didn't. It is very difficult for us to move on from that. And from my personal experience, that it was a naive move, but I also feel like that is something in their relationship that they need to like work through before they get married, because like he can't be making decisions like that without consulting her first. Same for like vice versa, she shouldn't be making decisions like that without consulting him first. It's not, that isn't something simple as like, oh, I just helped some poor helpless lady at the store. That is money, like on groceries, like really. guys could definitely set some boundaries with that communication, because if that's the case, you're just gonna have to stop looking at women. Just stop looking at them in general. But now I feel like saying you're attracted is one thing, but trying to act on that, like, you don't know anything about this person. You don't know if they're a bad person. You don't know if they suck as a human being, and you're just ready to just like throw 15 plus years in the garbage just because, oh, you found somebody cute. Like, that's so weird and that's so stupid. I don't care if you guys think I'm being insensitive. That's stupid. That's for anybody. If you're just gonna look at somebody and say, oh my gosh, they're attractive, okay, what do you gain? You gain nothing, because because most attractive people are bad people. I hate to see it, but a lot of attractive people are not good people, and you're gonna risk 15 plus years for literally, like the person said, 30 seconds of 30 grief, whatever. You're not gonna gain anything. You're not gonna, and honestly, you might be like an ego boost. I think that's what that's about, is like some people who don't find themselves attractive, when they see somebody else attractive, they feel like they have, and that person's taking interest in them, they feel like they have to act on it because they believe that like they're getting one up on them. I don't know. I'm not one up on them, but like on themselves. I don't know how to explain that, but that's an ego and a pride thing. But you're not gonna get anything else out of it, because that person's not gonna really like you. They're just gonna get what they want, and then they're gonna leave, and then you're gonna be stuck being miserable. So he's not a bad husband for having attraction, but he